What if I told you that one of the Lakers' most reliable weapons, a player who was once hailed as the glue between eras, is quietly standing on the edge of the cliff, and nobody in the front office seems to be reaching out a hand? What if I told you that Los Angeles, the franchise that has built its empire on star power, loyalty, and big game moments, is now preparing to let go of a player who fits every modern requirement of winning basketball? Size, shooting, versatility, and clutch mentality? Lakers Nation, this isn't some summer league rumor or a Twitter troll fishing for clicks. This is the kind of whisper that grows louder with every press conference, every lineup experiment, every moment of silence from the front office. Something is brewing in Los Angeles, and it may end with a departure that fans never thought they'd have to process this soon. Let me paint the picture without saying the name at least. Not yet. We're talking about a 6'8" forward, 27 years old, right? In the middle of his prime, shooting over 40% from deep in purple and gold. In 59 games last season, he averaged 13.1 points, 5 rebounds, and knocked down threes at a rate so efficient that defenders were forced to hug him at the arc, opening lanes for stars to operate. He even had a night where he exploded for 32 points. And 10 boards against Memphis, going 11 of 14 from the field, and a ridiculous 7 of -8 from beyond the arc. Sounds like a keeper, right? The kind of role player you pay to keep around, especially when you're building around superstars like Luka Doncic and LeBron James. The kind of piece that gives you depth in the postseason when every possession feels like a war. And yet, there's been no extension, no handshake agreement, no reassuring words from Rob Pelinka or J.J. Redick of this man being part of the future. Silence and silence. Lakers fans speaks louder than any press release. The front office already has its starting 5 penciled in: Luka, LeBron Austin, Reeves, Dandre Ayton, and a defensive pit bull in Marcus Smart. Notice the absence? Our mystery forward doesn't fit neatly into that 5. Not because of talent, not because of lack of effort, but because the Lakers are obsessed with flexibility, obsessed with creating cap space for the next shiny piece. It's almost as if they see him as a luxury, something nice to have, but not essential. And in the NBA, once you're labeled non-essential, your days are numbered. But here's the kicker. This isn't some washed-up veteran on the back end of his career. This is a guy who has evolved his game, who listened to Redick's staff, reshaped himself from a mid-range isolation player into a floor spacer and cutter, who gave this roster exactly what it was missing. He guarded wings, switched on the bigs when asked, even played small ball center when injuries forced the team's hand. He sacrificed personal glory for team needs, and in return, he's staring down the possibility of being pushed out the door. Fans, do you see the irony? We've lived through this movie before. Remember when the Lakers sacrificed depth for stars, thinking the big names would be enough? Remember when they let role players like Alex Caruso slip away for money reasons, only to watch him flourish elsewhere? Remember when they tried to patch things together with Russell Westbrook, mortgaging chemistry for headlines? History has a cruel way of repeating itself, and right now, it feels like we're about to lose another piece that actually works. By now, maybe you've guessed who I'm talking about. The stats gave it away. The size gave it away. The silence gave it away. Yes, this is about Rui Hachimura. I has been everything the Lakers hoped for when they stole him from Washington. He's been durable, adaptable, and when the lights were brightest, he delivered. Who can forget his back-to-back 23-point playoff games in 2024 against Minnesota, when he earned 40 minutes of Redick's trust and showed the world that he wasn't just filler, he was a gamer. And yet, here we are barely a year later, whispering about his future like it's already been decided. Why? Because the Lakers haven't offered him a deal. Because the front office isn't rushing to lock him down. Because in their obsession with keeping financial doors open, they're leaving one of their best two-way pieces dangling in the wind. And in this league, dangling means danger. Teams are watching. Scouts are circling. Cap space is waiting. Do you know how many franchises would throw $20 to $25 million at a 6'8" forward who can shoot 40% from three and defend multiple positions, at least 10? And every single one of them will pick up the phone if the Lakers hesitate for 1 second longer. So let's put ourselves in Rui's shoes for a moment. You've adjusted your game, sacrificed touches, reinvented yourself to fit around Luka and LeBron, and proven that you can hit shots in the playoffs. You've played through injuries, accepted role changes, even slid into uncomfortable positions to fill team gaps, and still no extension. Still, whispers that you're a luxury. Still, fans left to wonder if you'll even finish the season in purple and gold. How would you feel? How motivated would you be to stay loyal when you know another team is ready to bet the house on you? And this is where the sense of urgency kicks in, Lakers family. Because every day that passes without an extension is another day closer to Rui walking out the door. It's another day of tension in the locker room, another day of uncertainty clouding a team that's supposed to be chasing banners. Chemistry doesn't grow in doubt. Championship runs don't thrive on silence. The Lakers either commit or they risk crumbling under the weight of indecision. But maybe, just maybe, this is the front office's plan all along. Keep Rui dangling. Use his contract year as motivation. See if he can replicate those 40% shooting numbers over a full season. See if he can stay healthy. See if he can defend at a level that makes him playable next to Luka and LeBron. And if he doesn't, trade him at the deadline. Cash out while his value is high. Send him to a franchise desperate for size and shooting. And in return, get more financial flexibility. Sounds cruel, doesn't it? Sounds like betrayal, but isn't that what this league has become? A never-ending cycle of cap management, asset juggling, and cold-blooded decisions. The Lakers are no different. As much as we'd like to believe they're about loyalty and family, at the end of the day, it's about banners, money, and leverage. Rui is just the latest piece caught in the machine, and yet fans feel differently. Fans remember the playoff moments. Fans remember the Memphis explosion. Fans remember the quiet nights where Rui hit big shots while the stars struggled. Fans don't see him as expendable. They see him as part of the heart of this roster. And when the heart gets ripped out, what's left? So I ask you, Lakers Nation, is this the beginning of the end for Rui Hachimura in Los Angeles? Is the silence from the front office just a negotiating tactic? Or is it the first step toward letting him walk away? And more importantly, can we afford to lose him? Because if Rui leaves, it won't just be about losing a role player. It will be about losing depth, identity, and trust. It will be about history repeating itself in the worst possible way. It will be about the Lakers once again choosing the unknown over the proven, cap space over chemistry, and fans will be left holding the bag of what could have been. The question hangs over us like a storm cloud, and until it breaks, every game, every minute Rui plays this season will feel like an audition. For the Lakers. For other teams, for his future, and the only certainty is uncertainty. Stay locked in, because the saga of Rui Hachimura and the Los Angeles Lakers has only just begun. Lakers Nation, before we dive headfirst into this storm, smash that like button right now, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and drop your hottest take in the comments. Because trust me, this story isn't going away anytime soon, and your voice as a fan matters more than you think. Now, let's pick up where we left off. Imagine this. It's mid-season. The lights of Crypto.com arena burning bright. The crowd buzzing. And you glance down at the court only to realize that a player who once felt like a cornerstone is now coming off the bench, logging 18 minutes instead of 32, floating on the periphery instead of dictating momentum. That's the reality we might be staring at with Rui Hachimura. Because the Lakers' vision has shifted. Under J.J. Redick, the philosophy is simple. Luka Doncic controls the tempo. LeBron orchestrates when he chooses, and everyone else. There. Cogs in a machine designed for efficiency, spacing, and defensive bite. In that blueprint, Rui's offensive gifts are undeniable. He's a career 40% shooter from 3 in Los Angeles. His wide frame creates matchup nightmares, and his mid-range instincts still carry echoes of his Washington days. But his defense, his fit next to Luka, those are the cracks the front office is obsessed with. And here's the brutal truth. Marcus Smart, with his grit and defensive pedigree, is breathing down Rui's neck for that starting spot. Pelinka and Redick have been clear if this team is going to dethrone the likes of Denver, Minnesota, and a reloaded Phoenix. They need stoppers, not just scorers. Which raises the terrifying possibility. What if Rui, despite all his production, is seen as expendable? Think about it. In the playoffs, matchups define everything. Can Rui guard Anthony Edwards for 7 games? Can he switch on to Jamal Murray without being exposed? Can he bang with Aaron Gordon on one possession and chase Michael Porter Jr. the next? The Lakers' answer might not be yes, and that's the kind of calculus that gets players moved. But the irony is, fans don't forget the big moments. We remember Rui dropping 23 points in back-to-back playoff games, keeping the Lakers alive when the stars sputtered. We remember his Memphis Explosion 32. Points, 10 boards, raining threes like it was a video game. We remember the way he adapted under Redick's system, cutting from the weak side, spacing the floor for Luka, sliding into small ball center when injuries wrecked depth. Those aren't luxury contributions. That's survival basketball. And yet, silence from the front office. No extension. No reassurance. Just Rui, staring down free agency with 10 teams ready to pounce. Let's name them Brooklyn, Indiana, Oklahoma City, Houston, Orlando, maybe even Miami. All of them could use a 6'8" wing who can shoot 40% from deep and guard multiple positions. All of them could throw $20 to $25 million his way. That's not a maybe, that's an inevitable dot. So why would the Lakers gamble? Because flexibility is their gospel. Rob Pelinka's entire plan revolves around preserving cap space, keeping doors open for the next blockbuster. The Lakers aren't afraid to pivot. They did it in the Showtime era, flipping stars for stars. They did it in the Shaq-Kobe era, sacrificing dynasty stability for long-term control. They did it in 2021 when they mortgaged depth for Russell Westbrook, move that nearly detonated the franchise. And now, Rui Hachimura might be the next victim of this restless cycle. Let's dive deeper. Rui isn't just stats, he's culture. He's that bridge between eras, the player who adapted seamlessly when LeBron and AD dominated, then reshaped his game again when Luka arrived. He's been a good soldier, never complaining, never demanding the ball, never throwing tantrums. In the media, he just plays. And that's rare. That's valuable. But in the cold calculations of modern NBA front offices, loyalty doesn't pay the bills. What pays the bills is flexibility, asset management, and the promise of what's next. Now here's the scenario nobody's talking about. What if Rui gets traded midseason? Imagine it deadline day chaos, Roy bombs exploding on Twitter, and suddenly Rui is packaged with a pick for a defensive wing or a backup center. Imagine him in a Mavericks uniform, spacing the floor next to Kyrie and Luka. Imagine him in Miami, embraced by Heat culture, grinding on defense and hitting corner threes. Imagine him in Oklahoma City, adding veteran presence to a team stacked with young, hungry scorers. The possibilities are endless, and that's exactly why the Lakers are playing this so carefully. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't just about fit. This is about money. Rui's next contract will be massive. He knows it, his agent knows it, and the front office knows it. The Lakers, obsessed with maintaining cap space for the summer of 2026, might not want to tie themselves down. Luka's extension will be monumental. Reeves is already locked in. LeBron's twilight contract still eats into flexibility. Ayton's deal isn't cheap. Add Rui at $25 million a year? That could close doors. And for Pelinka, closing doors is worse than losing a player. Lakers fans, let that sink in. We might lose Rui not because he isn't good enough, but because the front office doesn't want to limit its options. It's chess with human beings, and we've seen how that ends Caruso. Kuzma, KCP, all sacrifice in the name of flexibility. And every time fans were left wondering, was it worth it? But here's the twist. Rui's story isn't finished. Contract year players are dangerous. They play with fire, with urgency, with nothing to lose. Rui knows that every three he drills, every board he rips down, every playoff moment he owns will either force the Lakers' hand or skyrocket his value in free agency. He could turn this luxury label into a weapon. He could make it impossible for Pelinka to justify letting him go. He could force the Lakers to choose between cap space and proven production. And that's where you, the fans, come in. Because the louder you shout, the harder it is for the front office to ignore. Lakers Nation has a history of bending narratives. Remember when Dwight Howard came back in 2020? Remember the roar of Staples Center during that redemption arc? Fans made that happen. And if Rui keeps bawling out while fans demand his retention, don't underestimate the power of public pressure in Los Angeles. Still, we have to face reality. The odds are stacked. Rui's fit with Luka and LeBron is questioned. His role in J.J. Redick's system is shrinking. His price tag is climbing. And the Lakers? They've stayed silent. That silence is deafening dots, so let's bring this full circle. Is Rui Hachimura leaving the Lakers? On paper, the signs point that way. The silence, the rotations, the financial strategy, it all lines up. But until ink hits paper, nothing is certain. And that uncertainty is the most Lakers thing of all. My opinion? As much as it hurts to say it, I believe Rui's time in loss. Angeles may be running out. The writing is on the wall, even if nobody in the front office dares to say it out loud. Could I be wrong? Of course. Could Rui force their hand with a breakout season? Absolutely. But right now, this feels like speculation that's a little too close to reality. And that's the truth. Lakers family, this is my perspective, my speculation, my take as a fan who bleeds purple and gold. I hope Rui stays. I hope he proves everyone wrong. But until the franchise shows commitment, we have to prepare ourselves for the possibility that Rui Hachimura's chapter with the Lakers might be coming to an end. So drop your thoughts below. Do you think Rui deserves the bag from the Lakers? Or is Pelinka right to play the long game? Is this speculation just smoke, or is it fire waiting to burn? Either way, we'll cover every twist and turn right here on Lakers News Fan Report. Stay tuned because this saga is far from over.